Well, thank you, Tom, and good evening, everybody. As a practitioner with extensive hands-on experience of the classroom, rather than approaching educational matters via a lens of abstract idealism from the treadmill conference of Google Hangouts, Tom will no doubt be aware that it's de rigueur in schools nowadays for pupils to be invited to give feedback on their teachers by way of contributing to what those who subscribe to management jargon would call one's continuing professional development. It was in this spirit that a so-called pupil voice exercise was conducted recently in my Year 11 or 10th grade French class of boys aged 15 to 16 in the South London school where I've worked for a number of years. My head of department handed me the report. Inspirational, fun, helpful, caring, engaging, were all adjectives that had not featured in any of my feedback forms. I was, however, heartened by one boy's description of me as boring but necessary. I mention this now to manage your expectations for what's about to follow. I have not been chosen for my ability as a speech maker, as a rapper, nor indeed for my own reputation as a wisecracking, quick-witted entertainer, but solely because Tom needed somebody to plug this particular gap in the schedule. Our other friends from university sat just there had, of course, planned on being in Russia this weekend, but only changed their arrangements on Wednesday afternoon due to unforeseen circumstances. Tom, I was only too happy to help you to cancel your flight to Moscow so that you could be here this weekend. So, for those of you that I've not yet had the chance to meet properly, my name's Elliot, and as I alluded to, I met Tom 17 years ago, like several others here, when we went up to Cambridge University as freshers. It became clear early on that Tom is a Yorkshireman through and through. As well as rugby, he loves pubs, whippets, rear ale, karaoke, and the music channel Scuzz. He hates nightclubs, lager, southerners, and insects. Yet, a love of the United States, which has, of course, broadly remained to this day, soon emerged too. As many of you will know, Tom spent his university summers at Camp America in West Virginia in the company of his kindred spirits, 12-year-old American children. As well as a horror after stories, Tom brought back with him to the UK a number of items, including a specialist video, of which he once organised a group viewing in his room, American chocolate, and, more curiously, a whole Serrano ham, which, having made its way to the UK from Madrid via Charleston, had its own carving stand that was so large that it needed its own suitcase to be transported back to Britain. Tom also returned from the States with a substance that I, for one, had never heard of before, Everclear. Banned in the UK and many US states, this so-called grain alcohol is 95% proof by volume, compared with, say, the modest 40% of a strong spirit such as vodka. And the marketing team celebrates its, I quote, notorious reputation in popular culture. Those of you who, like me, self-identify as street, hip and transcending cultural boundaries will no doubt be familiar with the 1991 rap classic Ever So Clear, in which Bushwick Bill of the Texas-based Ghetto Boys tells a tale of his night drinking this substance, which sadly results in his eye being shot out at point-blank range. In fairness, the Everclear advertising campaign does concede that the drink, again, I quote, should not be viewed as an unfinished ingredient, and more imperatively, never consumed directly in undiluted form. Surely, with such a clear health warning, nobody would be so foolish as to drink a large volume of Everclear neat. Tom, as I've already mentioned, had a similar version to nightclub, so it wasn't especially out of the ordinary when one night, whilst the rest of us trotted off to one of Cambridge's 2 dancing establishments, Tom said he was going to stay in his rooms to have a quiet night in. Such the degree of our hilarity and wackiness as students, it would be quite common to drop in on people who hadn't gone out on the way back from the club. So on this particular occasion, Tom was an obvious target. It's a knocking sound. Tom, are you there? Matt, just over there, said with perfect received pronunciation, whilst chomping on his extra large lamb doner and cheesy chips and bitter. We could hear Tom clearly speaking with actually uncharacteristic lucidity, with a degree of panic in his voice. I'm fine, but I can't get to the door. What happened? We let ourselves in, stepped over an empty pizza box, a Toy Story 2 DVD case, and that's right, a half-consumed bottle of Everclear. We then found Tom on the floor of his room, but to our huge surprise, without the usual symptoms of overconsumption. As I said, his speech was not at all impaired, and if anything, had improved. However, it quickly became apparent that through drinking the Everclear, Tom had actually surpassed the normal effects of excessive alcohol consumption and entered the next physiological stage of intoxication, rarely accessed by humans. Wriggling on his back like an upturned turtle, it emerged that he had placed himself into a temporary state of semi-paralysis. Despite these activities, Tom, of course, thrived academically at Cambridge. In fact, if you ask him nicely, he'll happily tell you just how well he did. He actually achieved so highly that he was one of only a select few to win, in addition to the other accolades that we celebrated last night, the prestigious Llama Award. The boy who'd been suspended from school for setting fire to the back seat of an East Yorkshire school bus had come a long way indeed. I thought you might be interested to know a little more about the Llama Award, so whilst taking a break from watching repeats of Come Dine With Me, I did some research before flying out. The St John's College website states proudly that winners are presented with their silverware, along with a financial prize, by the Master on their graduation day, and the nominations are based on the students' intellectual qualifications, with his double first, both in mathematics and natural sciences. Tom most certainly qualified here. Nominees are judged against their practical activities. Tom rode for a bit, played rugby, worked on the Mayball committee and so on, so that box was very much ticked. I just wonder though how the Llama Award Committee was convinced that Tom fulfilled the third category of moral conduct. Intrigued, I was drawn to explore the prize further and discovered that one of the members of the awarding committee was the Dean of Discipline, who I think it's fair to say got to know Tom rather well over the previous 3 years. And this had got me thinking. Had the Dean been impressed by the time that Tom had teased and upset a college porter by calling him an expletive having been asked to sign in after a night out, and when then asked not to swear anymore, proceeded to stomp back to his room like a chastened toddler through the hallowed courts of St John's College, dropping F and C bombs on loop 5 times a piece, around 200 times in total. Or maybe what had swung the Dean's decision to persuade the committee to award Tom this highly coveted and exclusive prize was the email that Tom had sent him one night whilst in a state of extreme inebriation. Not from Everclear this time, actually, outlining his views on the college's approach to managing its finances. Or perhaps the Dean had been overwhelmed by Tom's erudition in a face-to-face rather than virtual conversation this time after the scholars' dinner. Fuzzy-headed, delirious, and with double vision, Tom swayed over to the Dean. Hello, Dr. Dean. The name's Linehan. It's Mr. Sayer, isn't it? Tom replied cryptically. I think we need a meeting to discuss your conduct at the dinner, Mr. Sayer. Most people would have been quite worried at this point and retreated, but not Tom, who simply retorted, "Will there be booze?" Now, I couldn't stand here this evening and not mention Tom's nickname at university, Unit. This was given to him by somebody in the year above us ahead of the rugby tournament because of Tom's quite unique black and white attitude to life. His approach to revision demonstrates this aptly. Tom would divide his work into painfully strict, uninterrupted chunks of 45 minutes to the second, and I mean uninterrupted. He'd ignore anyone who tried to disturb him at all, including an emergency. Every seventh night would be a night off, even if this meant Tom socialising on his own. However, the meaning of this word, unit, is much more nuanced, just like this great man, our friend, to whom the nickname was allocated all those years ago. You don't need a linguist to tell you that, like so many English words, unit derives from the Latin unitas, meaning oneness or unity, and the German Einheit carries the additional meaning, to use that word again, of integrity as well. And this is important, I think, because joking aside, as well as being intensely focused and driven, at times unwaveringly single-minded, and at others eye-wateringly bold in your decision-making, you are, of course, a man who's unbelievably kind, great fun, and with unshakable integrity. Moreover, Tom, we respect you deeply for the way in which you've dealt with life's challenges and supported us all at various points. Testament to all these traits in the way in which you've unified, brought together us all today. So thank you, Tom. So contrary to my ironic remarks at the beginning of this speech, it's a genuine honour to have been given the opportunity to address you this evening on this most special occasion and in these quite breathtaking surroundings. Tom, we're delighted that you've met Emily. Intelligent, caring, loving, and patient. She's a simply wonderful person, and I know everyone will agree, looks absolutely beautiful today. It's tradition in the UK, at least, to read notes from well-wishers who are unable to be here at this stage. And I have one special message to pass on from Tom's gran and Uncle Martin. Congratulations on your marriage. We are both with you at heart, and sorry Gran's illness prevented us from being with you on your special day. We look forward to seeing the footage so that we can share in the occasion. Wishing you both all the happiness for the future. So to conclude, Tom, I'm genuinely grateful to you for our friendship, and thanks to the union we're celebrating today, I'm delighted, Emily, to be able to call you a close friend as well. It's great that you've established a home here in California together, not least my summer holidays. But it's a tribute to your unswerving loyalty and generosity that you've remained and become such close friends with others, particularly from our side of the pond. Tom and Emily, we all wish you nothing but the very best for the future, both with hearts of solid gold. You're a perfectly matched couple in all respects, and we sincerely hope you have a long, happy life together. So it's my great pleasure to ask you all to join me in being upstanding now and raising our glasses. Tom and Emily, may your lives be full and your glass never empty. To Tom and Emily.